For pet parents, 'tis the season to be very careful. We're going to talk all about the hazards that come along with the most wonderful time of year, Christmas. We're talking toxic holiday treats, festive foreign bodies, anything that could trigger a trip to the vet. A lot of the accidents we see coming into the vet clinic during the holidays are due to your pet eating something they should not be eating. Sometimes it's a case of them chewing on something that isn't food and it's caused an obstruction along their digestive system. Some of the things to look out for include the following: tinsel and ribbon. If your pet eats it, the tinsel won't break down and the long strands could get stuck in your cat or your dog's intestines. Cats are especially enthused by this long, sparkly decor and can suffer from a linear foreign body where the tinsel bunches up in their small intestines, and this can require surgery to repair. Next up is toys. Anything small and plastic that has parts that can be chewed by curious dogs, swallowed, and get stuck. Any toys containing small buttons, batteries, or strong magnets can wreak havoc on your pet's digestive system if they're swallowed. We also see an increase in the number of poisoning cases coming in around Christmas, and this is because many of the foods we have more of during the festive season are actually very toxic to our dogs and cats. One of the big ones that most people know about already is chocolate. Even in small amounts, chocolate, especially the darker varieties, can be very toxic to our cats and dogs. It can cause symptoms like an increased heart rate, restlessness, vomiting and diarrhea, and in severe cases, muscle tremors and seizures. For more information about chocolate poisoning, you can check out our dedicated video where I talk about it in more detail. Dirty! Another is grapes, raisins, and sultanas. These are extremely toxic for our pets, so please, if your dog chows down on a discarded mince pie or a Christmas pudding, call the vet right away. It can take some time for symptoms to show, and by that time, they may be at risk for things like kidney failure. Bones. Bones from your turkey or meat of choice can also be very dangerous for dogs. They can easily splinter and break into sharp pieces, which can cause severe injuries to a dog's digestive tract or lead to choking, internal punctures, blockages, and even fractured teeth. While it's true that cooked bones have a chance at digesting in the gut at some point, then cases often require management anyways and come along with issues such as pancreatitis from the meat and fat that went into the bones. Kids in particular might think it's fine to give the pet bones from their plate as a treat, so making sure everyone is aware that this is a no-no is a sensible move. For all of these reasons, I tell people it's easier to just skip the bones. Looping back to that note about pancreatitis, the holidays are another time that we as vets treat a lot of tummy upset, including vomiting, diarrhea, and potentially pancreatitis. These symptoms are common, particularly when the table scraps are fed that the pet isn't used to eating, like the fatty bits off of your turkey or your roast. It's best to skip those. Holiday plants. Another thing to look out for is plants. Some of the plants that are brought into our house around Christmas, like holly, poinsettias, mistletoe, and ivy, can be toxic to our pets and lead to vomiting. If you do have them around the house, it's just best to keep them out of reach from your pets. The Christmas tree. Finally, this may not necessarily be a hazard depending on your pet, but I'd be remiss not to mention the Christmas tree. If your cat or dog is new to the holiday season, they might be very curious about why you've brought this item from outside into their home. This may naturally lead to chewing and climbing, so it's best to pet-proof it as much as possible. Luckily, pine needles aren't particularly harmful to our pets if they're eaten, but they're still something we want to avoid as they can cause some vomiting and irritation. If possible, pick a variety of tree that is known to shed less, or an artificial tree for peace of mind. It's also a good idea to put anything fragile on higher branches. Curious noses and wagging tails can easily cause breakages, which can then be hazards for your pet if they're stepped on or swallowed. Any cords or electrical cables that are at pet height should be tidied away where they're away from them to discourage chewing or tripping. And finally, secure that tree. Cats in particular love to climb, so make sure that you have a secure tree base, you keep your tree in the corner, and if possible, anchor it at the top or bottom to the wall.